Doomsday trailer leak. So what happened with this is Avengers Doomsday is coming out next year, right? And so they had like little teaser trailers that were gonna play in front of Avatar Fire and Ash, which comes out like on Thursday. And so it was four trailers that they were gonna like alternate in different theaters. It was Steve, Thor, Victor Von Doom, and then a full trailer. And so the Steve trailer leaked online. I got a chance to watch it, and it was a lot of mixed feelings, but mixed not equally. I had way more negative feelings than good feelings because I feel like this just sets the MCU back in a way that we might not feel the ramifications of until like 5 to 10 years down the line. Now let me explain. So Steve Rogers, Captain America, he has a ending at the end of Endgame. Some people don't like it, some people like it. And what happens is he goes to the past, ends up with Peggy, and now in this trailer we see him on a motorcycle. He's contemplating, he's looking at the Captain America suit, he puts it back into storage, we see him with a child. And so a lot of things go through my mind when I see this trailer. First of all, I also see a matching report that says Steve is a leading character in this. So that's already ridiculous. Number two, Falcon and the Winter Soldier debuted like 2021, 2022. So that's like 3 or 4 years of the Sam Captain America build up, and all that I've gone through in the past couple of years as a Marvel fan, and seeing you try to rebuild and reboot somewhat, or reshuffle the deck, your cast, for us to build to a new Avengers movie. You just wasted my time. That's for the first thing. I felt like he wasted my time. I also felt like this was like it was a feeling of, oh, you're just gonna go back to the white characters, right? Because it felt like in 2020 and all that, they were big on this diversity kick, and it ended up not going well through no fault of the fact that they were diverse. The problem was they didn't know how to handle these characters. They didn't know how to write these movies. They were worried about getting the product out instead of caring and cultivating and making sure this would be a hit. And to me, this all started with Captain Marvel failing to connect with the audiences. That was the first domino to fall for me. And I think if that would have went differently and people ended up gravitating to her character, we might have a different discussion now. But going back to Steve, I just feel like this is just ridiculous. Like, and it feels like nostalgia grabby, all those hot terms right now. And also to me, I just don't like, I like Steve, and that's where my mixed feelings comes from. I like Steve. Seeing Steve again would be cool, but I just don't like my time being wasted like this. And so to me, this has a number of things that I think will hurt the MCU going forward. First of all, that child reveal makes me feel like that kid's gonna play a big part, because you wouldn't have Steve have a child if it's not gonna play a big part. And I feel like he might become a big character down the line. Okay, well then the audience is gonna be like, so is he Captain America like Junior? Like, what's happening there? And that puts Sam further down the pecking order, in my opinion, because people already feel like since he's black, he shouldn't be Captain America. And like, that's why I think like Marvel, you could have just, there's so many beautiful characters in the Marvel universe, so many great characters with deep stories and deep backstories, that you could have focused on, and that could have secured your universe for the next 10 plus years. Instead, we're wasting time focusing on characters of the past, and that already cheapens Endgame, by the way, which a movie I don't even think is that good, which is a hot take. I don't even think it's that good. So you just cheapen that movie by having these characters appear again and that not be the true ending. I think it's been done better in comic books than it's been done here, the bringing back of characters. And I think what the benefit of comic book movies, I guess, in theory, would be that they don't have to be ongoing because these actors are not ageless. They age with the character. So you could have a closed like arc and that just be it. And then you like move on to another character. But they just didn't want to do that. And it feels like you're afraid of your own product. In a way, it feels like you're not secure in your ability to make hit movies. And that's weird because y'all had a whole streak of hits. Using Avengers characters were not that popular before the MCU. The X-Men are the A-listers. The Fantastic Four are the A-listers. You still have a young Spider-Man. So I just don't understand the hesitancy to build around them. Now, I think this cheapens this because, like, we could have had if the movie Avengers was kind of built on your characters that you grew over the past couple of phases, then you could have had, I don't know, you could have built them up to the point where people care about them more, because you didn't do that when you were supposed to. So now we kind of have to backtrack and do it now, but you could have. And then we could have led to X-Men, which is what everybody's actually waiting for and everybody actually wants, right? And so this is just weird to me, but it's gonna put butts in seats. Everybody's gonna go to this movie to see Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, Victor Von Doom. He's gonna be Tony Stark in some shape, way, or form, whatever, right? And so that was ridiculous. Steve being a main character is ridiculous because we just had the Fantastic Four introduced. The hesitancy to put Reed Richards and the family at the forefront. It's just so weird to me. Like, the main villain is Victor Von Doom, who is their villain. Like, that's their, like, it's, the whole thing is weird to me. I don't know if this will be successful. Like, this was a good movie, but I know it will be successful when it comes to money. And so I think that's what Marvel cares about more. But I really hope after these two back to back Avengers movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, is over, that I get to see what I came here to see, which is the X-Men done right. Will they do it right? I don't know. But that's what I hope. And that was crazy.